it's ADHD Girl here, bringing you another fab episode of the ADHD and Me podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about something called masking. Now, if you have a child or children with additional needs, then chances are you might have already heard of the term. But if you're one of those people sat there thinking, what the heck does masking mean? I'll give you a loose definition. Masking is when a child hides their difficulties from those around them, either because they're trying to fit in or don't feel comfortable to be their authentic selves. They will, for example, copy what others do around them, or they'll use their routine as a coping strategy. But when in situations on their own, that's where the difficulties come out. Joining me today, I have a parent who's had a long battle to get her children diagnosed with ADD and ADHD because of their ability to mask well in school. She's here to talk about her experience and what masking has meant for her children and the family as a whole. So, hi Tina, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Like how many children you have, how old they are, and the kind of needs they have?
Hi, yeah, I've got 3 children. One that's 25, Lena that's, how old are you, 12? And Ruby is 10. Yeah, we've all got our own complexities. My son is slightly dyslexic and a bit of autism. My 10-year-old is ADHD with a big capital H. And Lena here is being diagnosed at the moment with ADD and autism. I'm badly dyspraxic and I've got traits of ADD and autism. Yeah. Life is funky.
Yeah, so a fully neurodiverse household there.
Yeah, and my mum's got a vascular dementia.
Yeah.
That lives with me as well. So
dealing with a lot there. We've also, you just mentioned Lena. Lena's actually joining us today to give a very unique and personal perspective for what it is to mask at school. So that's great because not only we've got a parent talking about what it is for children to mask, we've also got someone who has actually masked as well. Hi Lena, how are you today?
I'm good.
So you've only just learned that you may have ADD and autism, and that's come about from what you were telling me, Tina, a conversation with the speech and language when they came out to visit you. Did you have an inkling before that you thought you had something, or did it come as a shock? Or
It didn't really come as a shock. It was just like, you just tell me and I'll take it.
Oh, okay. So we very much go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you knew that you felt a bit different, didn't you?
Yeah.
And this is why some of the problems that were not picked up on in the junior school, and we kept fighting this. In the end, I took her out to homeschool with my other daughter, and then they ended up with they were bored and things just weren't right. They weren't learning as much as we should. They went back to school. And one's driving, and Lena, you went downhill, didn't you?
Wow, a mixed bag of different experiences there. When did you first realise that your children were masking at school? Because that, from what you've told me in the past, that's been half the battle because they masked at school.
Yeah.
It was hard to be taken seriously about their behaviour at home.
Yeah, they were just, the school were, oh, she's fine, and it's just part of growing up, and because Lena has problems with keeping friends, and you take everything personally and very whole range of stuff. And it was my son that actually first said to me that she's autistic. So I presented this to the school and I looked into it a lot more. And the ADD, I didn't know about the ADD bit at the time, but school just like poo-pooing it.
Yeah.
It was Ruby.
Yeah.
They were, at first, it was, oh, she's been really disruptive, her concentration's gone, she keeps daydreaming, she keeps looking out the window, she's rocking back into, she won't keep still, and put it down to naughty behaviour.
And they didn't even want to pursue a diagnosis of?
No. The school, at the time, the only thing that I got out of them, they agreed that she could be dyspraxic.
Right.
Because she was black and blue all the time.
Okay.
Just bagging in things.
So they thought that her kind of behaviour in school was a chosen behaviour?
Yeah. And they were basically putting you into the reading corner and have time out. So in the end, they gave her fidget to use and all of that. It was then, and that was year 2, 3, and they were actually trying to help her in the end. But because of all, she kept getting into trouble, that's when the masking started. All the
Yeah.
teachers didn't know.
Yeah.
It was, and she would contain herself so much. And you used to contain yourself at school, didn't
Oh,
you?
yeah, definitely.
You wanted to fit in with everybody else. So you would mask you truly were,
Yeah.
and Ruby would mask her behaviour.
There's a lot of misconception around masking, because I think the idea is, they can choose to mask, then mustn't have those kind of difficulties. And I don't think they understand how emotionally exhausting it is to mask.
It is.
Were you conscious of the fact you were masking in school? You know, I'm not saying did you do it deliberately. What I'm saying is, did you know that there was parts of yourself that you were having to keep closely contained for fear of obviously not having your needs met, or because you didn't want to get in trouble and things like that? Or was it?
It was a bit of both, because I wanted to fit in, so then they would like me and then I'd get more friends, you know. But there was a lot part of me that wanted to just be myself, and
Yeah. So it's that inner battle, isn't it?
yeah, and it was just not coming out at all,
No.
and I lost myself.
Yeah. That's really a key point, that, isn't it? I think that a lot of people who mask, they feel like the toll it takes on their identity, because how can you be your authentic self if you're constantly having to hide the biggest parts of yourself, those parts of you that struggle? So, Tinder, do you understand the definition of masking when your children were doing it, or were you familiar with the term, or did you at the time just think they're hiding it? I know that they're containing themselves, they're hiding it, but you weren't too sure about this term of masking and what it was.
I didn't understand.
It's relatively new, isn't it, the term masking?
The actual term. I didn't understand, because ignorantly, I thought, if you can stop doing these things that you're getting told off for, then just don't do it. So I was encouraging the negative side, as far as I'm concerned. And then she was coming home and she holds it all together until she gets home. And then we usually end up having a chat on the stairs. And I'm like, in the end, I was like, okay, you need to be yourself, but Mummy, I'm getting into trouble. I'm like, you tell me, this is the other thing. I'll find out days or weeks later when she's got into trouble, because she doesn't want to get into trouble.
Yeah, because she bottles it up and then it just all comes out in this big,
Eventually, through reading more about ADHD, I understood then about the masking. I thought, that's what she's doing.
So just to give some clarity for people, because obviously we've talked about what masking is, but I think that the problem is a lot of parents of children with additional needs, that they do get struggled to be taken seriously, because if their child presents differently at school, then it's deemed to be a chosen behaviour. But just to give a bit of insight, what was the behaviours that were happening at home that you had to deal with that weren't necessarily happening in school because of the masking aspect?
She'd be like a ping pong ball. I know a lot of parents, they won't agree with me on this. She'd go from like the sofa to the chair to the other sofa, and then in the door frame, work her way up, like feet on one side, back on the other, and climb up and then down, and then jump around again. I know people shouldn't let them jump all over the furniture, but it was her release. And that was her hyperactivity.
Yeah.
It was just like a time bomb waiting to go off. And in the end, I'm just like, okay, just please be careful. I don't want you hurting yourself. And I'd be watching her. And you were like, oh, she can't do that, she can't do that. And I'm like, just let her be.
Yeah, she's going to break something, Mum. Do something, she's going to break something.
And I'm like, it's safe there, you know. It's a safe area. Go for it. Yeah, so she could do that. I mean, trying to watch something on TV with both these girls is a nightmare. Because the attention span's just not that. So I just let them be, and I'm encouraging them
to be authentic.
Yeah, be yourself. And I'm trying to encourage Ruby, if Lena does go back to school, for Lena as well, be yourself. I will deal with the teachers. I will tell them obviously first and stuff. They're masking because they don't get
Let's talk a little bit about the homeschooling aspect, because that's a really interesting one. You chose to homeschool because your children were really struggling in school and weren't having their needs met, so obviously you then chose to homeschool. But because of national standards, you had to, in some respect, having to put them back in as well.
Yeah, because of basically the things, the GCSE aspect of it.
The
all.
exams, yeah.
The exams and things like that, which, again, unless you've got things put into place for children with additional needs, it's really difficult. The reason why I did it was because I can give more time to Lena.
As individuals?
As an individual, she's on her own and she can focus more. She's not got anybody else to be worrying about.
Distracted by
people making fun of her, getting told off by the teacher. Because at first, you were waiting for me to tell you off and shout at you because you got something wrong. I'm like, why would I do that? And the teachers shout at me or tell me off. So, yeah, again, she's masking, so you close yourself off and you just put so much time that she would never ask the teachers for help.
So she wasn't achieving the best in terms of her learning.
Yeah.
It was just a case of being there.
Yeah, it was there in body.
Do you know what's interesting you say about the differences in junior school to high school? Masking only seems to work extremely well in primary school where there is that routine, there is that structure to be able to help you to mask. But then in high school, because everyone's doing different things to a certain extent, it becomes a lot harder to mask. So then you've got children whose parents aren't being taken seriously in primary school because their children are masking, but obviously showing difficult behaviour at home or difficulties. And then they go to high school and bang, it all comes out. And then by that point, are they actually, because of the diagnostic wait times and all this, we're actually seeing that children are not getting diagnosed in enough time to help them achieve their best potential.
Yeah, especially females, because you get the nonsense of, oh, it's hormonal.
Yeah.
She started with before the hormones in her. But I allow Lena to unmask at home. And if she's having a really bad time, I'm like, okay, we'll try it different ways in a lesson. If she can't do it, okay, leave that for now.
Do you know what? I think that's so important, though, for children and even adults with additional needs. It's having that safe space to land, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can be up there trying your very hardest, drowning, but it's being able to come and let the mask slip and actually land on something solid and be like, I can be myself now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the issues that I personally have is, because I'm very laid back, you'll distract me.
Because obviously you've got you who think you may have ADD as well.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, Mum, have you seen this? And I'm like, oh, what? And then an hour or two's gone. I'm like, hang on a minute, we're still doing maths or science or whatever.
Even I realise it's just that I distract myself as well as Mum.
But then do you get frustrated by that? Because I know myself with ADHD, I almost know I'm distracting myself because I do have quite a bit of self-awareness. So I keep distracting myself, and then I'll look at the clock and I'm like, oh, I've not done anything. I've distracted myself. But then it's almost like you can't, because obviously your mood does dictate how much you can focus. And even with ADHD, you can still focus a little bit better at times than you can with others. Remember, I'm on a bad day and I'm distracting myself, then like, I'll be like, oh, I'm distracting myself, I need to get on. And then 2 minutes later, like, oh, I'm distracting myself again. And I just cannot snap out of it because it's the ADHD taking over.
Yeah. Really, like, you get distracted, something terrible.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely.
And do you feel like that holds you back? Would you love to? Obviously, I always say I wouldn't be myself if I didn't have ADHD. And I think that's true with a lot of people with ADD, ADHD, because I think it makes up your personality to some extent. But do you get frustrated and sad sometimes that you're not maybe achieving your full potential because of the focus aspect?
Like, when I distract myself, I do get angry at the fact that I'm not focusing on what I'm supposed to be focusing on. And then I could be doing something completely different and then go on and distract myself, and it's just, there was no need for that, and why have I done it? I just don't understand.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And then
also with masking, it's not just in school. Like when we go to one of my relations' house, we all mask there. Even me as an adult, and it's my brother. Now, it's difficult because my brothers and my father, they don't agree with and they don't believe in.
Like an older generation view that you can't, all these additional needs have suddenly been invented and they don't actually exist kind of thing.
They think of it as it's a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Or if you've been diagnosed with such and such, you'll be playing on that all the time. And they're zero tolerance for it. And so we mask an awful lot. Then I got if I ended up being my true self. we fall out. With anyone, all of them. But yeah, so it's not just in school, the masking, it's everywhere else.
Yeah.
At one point, you, Lena, you were masking in all areas of your life.
Oh, that was when I lost myself completely.
Yeah. And did you find that affected your mental health as well?
Oh, yeah. It did, definitely. Yeah, I slipped behind and I just couldn't find myself. But I've picked myself up again.
That's a really good thing to be able to do, especially at such a young age.
Yeah, it got so bad, Lena was, do you mind me saying what you do? Self-harming and had suicidal thoughts all the time.
Yeah, so just to show how much it affected your mental health in that way,
We're now registered with CAMS.
This is the problem, isn't it? A lot of the services are like jam-packed and trying to get in there for the people who actually need the help ASAP. It's not...
Well, this is it. We've been waiting for about since January, and we still haven't got an appointment. And because Lena's trying to contain herself, and I'm trying to keep Lena as happy as I possibly can, they've just said, if it gets really bad, then if it changes, call us back. Otherwise, just wait. Many things could have happened, shall we say. It also makes me feel that I'm hopeless. And what sort of a mother am I that my children feel that there's no way out because they're masking their true feelings, and they're so scared of getting into trouble with the teachers, with me, through things that they do at school.
It's just not a nice place to be at all, is it?
It makes me feel absolutely hopeless and worthless and stupid.
Yeah, and on top of that, you've then got the school almost saying it must be something you're doing at home, even though you're doing everything you possibly can.
Yeah, basically.
And and it's getting you nowhere, kind of thing.
I mean, luckily, I've been strong enough to stand up to the school.
Yeah, and some parents aren't, unfortunately.
Because of my memory recall, because of all my complexities, I don't know what questions to always ask. I've been told when I did appeal for the school, did you ask this? Did you ask that? Why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you ask that? And the questions I never even thought about. I kind of shut down myself, and then I look like a stupid child.
But then there's not even that understanding that actually you're neurodiverse yourself, and you've got brain fog and all these things that come with your complexities as well. Because and this is the problem with ADHD and ADD as well. I think a lot of it is that misconception that you grow out of ADHD as an adult, and you don't.
When I first approached the CDC, and we were going through like the...
And that's Child Development Centre, by the way, for anyone listening.
So we were filling out the forms for both Lena and Ruby. And the lady said to me, what do you hope for an outcome? I said, for a diagnosis so we can work with them. And she said, do you want them on medication? Which kind of shocked me.
Because that seems to be the first go-to thing. Let's get them on medication.
And I was like, no, I really don't. And she went, oh, okay. So you don't want medication? I said, no.
Right, well, what else are we going to be offered?
And let's try other things that they can work with, where they don't have to mask, where they can be themselves. I really appreciate on the extreme side of the ADD, ADHD, some children, unfortunately, do.
I really think it's a very individual thing, medication for ADHD. What do you think schools should be doing more of?
My point of view for all teachers, I think it should be standard that they all learn about the various different complexities of learning difficulties. I'm not get a PhD in it, but really understand the basics of ADHD, ADD.
Especially if you've got a child like that in your class as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So they can look out for it rather than waiting for the child to be completely disruptive.
Or for it to come out in high school.
Yeah, or for the parents have to keep away from recognise it for it as a standard day-to-day thing. So in that way, I think the children would be able to be more themselves rather than... Because sometimes they feel the shame of it. And that's why the masking as well. They don't want to be different as they think of it. They don't want to be...
Or they don't want to be different without a reason, knowing why they're different. Nina, do you feel like you've got that used to masking over such a long period of time that it almost feels like you're normal, and actually trying to be your authentic self is a bit of a struggle?
Yeah, it's just like I feel like masking, it feels permanent. It doesn't feel like,
This is who I am now.
yeah, it's permanent. And in some ways, it feels like trying to be myself is my fake self.
But knowing at the same time it's not completely you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, I've got used to masking so much, it feels it's stuck there. It's permanent. It won't go.
It's like a coping strategy that you can't get rid of.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give? So first I'm going to ask you, Tina, what advice would you give to parents who think their child is masking in school?
Firstly, reassure your child that there's nothing wrong with them. It's just, this is how...
This is who you are.
This is how they are in life. Everybody's different anyway. So there was nothing to be upset about or afraid of or whatever. Reassure your child and reassure them to be, as much as they can, to be themselves. I would advise them to speak with the teachers on a one-to-one and then also with the child as well. Obviously, you get your Senko involved.
And just fight, basically. Don't doubt your child.
Do diaries. Make diaries. So you can see whenever your child is masking.
Yeah.
And then you're gathering more and more evidence.
Yeah, so it's like, you have to do that at home, gather that evidence to be taken serious. School at the moment, majority of schools, the system, it doesn't allow for that, does it? That's the problem, isn't it? This system is all about everybody reaching the same goals at the same time, and everyone kind of function in a certain way within a classroom environment. Yeah. So Lynn, what would you say? This is probably a big question for you, but what does your kind of ideal school environment look like? Would you like to be in school, or would you prefer to? What would you looking for in terms of your own learning if you had a choice?
Like, now, I think I'd be more comfortable in a school environment because I've found the advice of don't like...
Yeah, you're more aware of it.
Yeah, and I found myself now, so...
So it's just clinging on to yourself, your identity.
Yeah, but when I was in high school, like, before I was homeschooled, it was just like sitting in a classroom and my head was down on the desk. I couldn't concentrate.
Yeah, so you just went numb.
Yeah, and it was just like, everything was distracting. It could be the clock ticking, someone tapping their feet on the ground,
yeah,
or someone just talking. And it's just that I can't do it. It's just overwhelming.
Too overwhelming.
Yeah. And I wasn't concentrating in class and properly. And the thought of taking notes, it was just like, because I could listen to what the teacher was saying, I couldn't take notes, I couldn't do my work.
And then by the time you're finishing the notes, they've moved on to another part, and you're like, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I did try and take notes before I was told to take notes. I put my head down, did the note, look up. Oh, completely different.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one, isn't it? Because from what you're saying, your self-awareness of your, like, how you struggle and your kind of weaknesses is a thing now that's going to help you with school. But because you were masking, you didn't have that self-awareness that you probably have now. So it's weird, isn't it? Because on one hand, we're saying, actually, mask, don't be yourself. But actually, it's the very thing of being yourself and knowing how you learn that's going to get you through.
It's turning negatives into a positive and working with that. But the teachers have got to be made aware.
Thank you very much. I think it's been a really interesting conversation, getting those unique perspectives. And I think this will be very interesting to a lot of our parents who listen, who've got children with additional needs, who perhaps were struggling to understand how their child could have additional need, but also be okay in school. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's all we've got time for today, ADHDers and allies. What will we be talking about next time? That's a very good question. I guess I need to get my head out my bum and figure it all out, because up until now, I had a plan. But in typical ADHD fashion, I let it get to the point where my plan ran out, and now I don't have a new one. But rest assured, we'll be back next month, even if we're talking utter waffle. Take care, everyone, and see you next episode.